China continues to play a vital role in shaping the global economy, the value of the assets managers grow by 57%. So the answer, the economy is strong, the opportunities are strong, and we always have this resilient base.
We never say, come and invest in Abu Dhabi. We say, come and invest with Abu Dhabi. Don't bet on the last 50 years of what Abu Dhabi has delivered. Bet on what the next 50 years we are going to deliver jointly with you.
Abu Dhabi survived a lot of crises before, but this time, what you have done to restore, to strengthen the investors' confidence?
Investors, Ivan, are not looking for short-term opportunities. They're looking for supply chain flexibility. They're looking for supply chain resilience. I tell people when we have a video call or a Teams call, and I say, look outside my window. Look at the clear skies that we have, and I have a beautiful view of Saadiyat Island with all the different museums. And I say, look, this is what, if you think wartime looks like, can you imagine what peacetime looks like? It's a completely different world. You know, we have been given the privilege of having a very wise leadership that has made sure that despite all the disruption that's going around in the world, we continue to operate normally. I sometimes think to say that the question is not, you know, can I enter the market in Abu Dhabi? It's actually a different question that investors say when they land in Abu Dhabi, is what markets am I going to reach from Abu Dhabi? And that's the kind of mindset that we are seeing.
Have you noticed any noticeable shift in investors' behavior?
You know, we are a very small country. When you look at it, we are only 4 million people in Abu Dhabi alone. We, as His Highness, our Crown Prince once said, we punch above our weight. We have $1.8 trillion of assets under management just by looking at our sovereigns. This doesn't include the business families. This doesn't look at the private companies. This just looks at the sovereigns. And these investments are all around the world. So in many ways, when an investor comes and lands in Abu Dhabi, we give them a platform for growth. We give them a platform to scale and access markets all around the world.
UAE is a home of one of the world's deepest pool of institutional capital. Through its sovereign funds, it manages more than $3 trillion, making it among the 5 biggest and top most significant centers of capital globally. At the same time, it has emerged as the hub of talents, innovation, and tourism, attracting world-class professionalism and researchers and visitors from all around the globe. In 2025, the GDP of UAE reached a record value approximately $517.3 billion, a growth of 6.2%, whereas the non-oil grew by 6.8%, and it's counted to be 79% of the total GDP. Then, at the heart of Abu Dhabi, the capital of the United Arab Emirates, comes ADGM. Over the past decade, ADGM has evolved into one of the fastest growing international financial centers globally and the key pillar of Abu Dhabi's economic vision, reaffirming its position as capital of capital. Our role in ADGM is simple but ambitious: to provide a trusted legal, regulatory, and business infrastructure that enables global capital, talents, and innovation to thrive. As China continues to play a vital role in shaping the global economy, we believe there is significant potential to deepen collaboration between China and United Arab Emirates-based investors, financial institutions, and businesses, wherein assets management, private capital, sustainable finance, advanced technologies, digital assets, or infrastructure investments.
So the world has become much more complex over the past year. The question is, as companies rethink where to establish their business, where to establish their international presence, what are you hearing from today?
All what I hear, very positive news. First of all, they want to be protected by the law. So when you come to UAE, for example, UAE, you have two types of laws, the civil law and the English common law. So at ADGM, where I'm coming from, English common law is very attractive for the international investors because the language of that law is known, lawyers know it, everybody around that circle know it. The court, even when I said English common law, if I take that as an example, it's not just implementing the English common law. It's even the court, we have virtual courts. So you could be sitting here in Shanghai and the problem with a third country in country X, and you could go back to have your court taken care of in Abu Dhabi virtually. So that makes not just fair, but accessibility is there.
Have those conversations changed compared with 1 year ago?
Let's talk about numbers. The money that are deposited in the banks of UAE reached 939 billion. If you compare that with the previous year, the whole previous year, you're talking about a growth of 17%. If you compare that quarter with the quarter of 2025, you're talking about 4.3%. When it comes to ADGM, 1,000 license has been issued in the first quarter of 2026. The value of the assets managers grow by 57%. So the answer, the economy is strong, the opportunities are strong, and we always have this resilient base.
You mentioned the growth of ADGM, the licenses you have issued, the AUM you have grown, and over the past year. Many people say that is partly due to the global reallocation of money due to the peak of the so-called American exceptionalism. Do you agree?
Let's go back a step back. Investments and the capital always chase opportunities, and they always try to run away from the risk. And as a result, we see them moving from location to another location. Investors, when they consider to do investments, they look at the long term. And they look at the base. The base is strong. The base is very strong. Legally, infrastructure, safety, connectivity, and the agreements with the international markets. Today, the CEPA, as an example, if we take it, when you come to UAE, it is not only UAE, it's the countries that are around UAE. In my speech, even I said, it is the connection between Africa, Middle East, South Asian, and part of the Europe. So that's investors, when they come, they use UAE as a point where they could expand and grow. That's why the country is very attracted to the investors.
There are a lot of international financial centers around the world. You mentioned Singapore, Hong Kong, New York, London. In terms of the competitiveness, what is ADGM's competitive advantage by comparing with others?
The law is one of the things that we are competing with, because we're not only, as I said, we're not only implementing the law, the English common law, we are doing it virtually. That is one of the competitiveness that we have. To the assets under management around Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi itself, we're talking about $1.8 trillion. So when you go a bit wider to UAE, we're talking about 3 trillion. That by itself another anchor for investors to come in. To be fair, every financial center have their own uniqueness. But in ADGM, the added value is very much diversified and very much becomes an attraction area. You could be sitting here in Shanghai and you could go back to have your court taken care of in Abu Dhabi virtually.
Abu Dhabi doesn't talk about use cases in AI. Abu Dhabi talks about an AI economy.
Now the 2026 Abu Dhabi Investment Forum. First of all, what is your main takeaway on this year's forum?
We have seen a better attendance this year. We have seen more serious investors reaching out to us. We have seen, from what was last year curiosity to this year being conviction.
Oh yeah.
And that is a completely different mindset. So there is no question that is coming to me and saying, should I invest in Abu Dhabi? The conversation is about how can you help me grow from Abu Dhabi? And I think that's exactly where we want to be positioned. And Ivan, you remember this from the last time. Yeah. We never say, come and invest in Abu Dhabi. We say, come and invest with Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, not in, with, but
and
with.
that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Because when I say with, I am talking about partnership. Yeah. I am talking about us having a win-win strategy. It's about us working together to actually conquer the world and being able to deliver the objectives that the investor has set. Because if they do well, the economy does well. And that's why we have full alignment from day one.
Mm-hmm. So which sectors are generating the strongest interest from Chinese companies today?
Technology goes without saying, right? People talk about AI, and I'm going to touch a little bit about this now.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about AI, and everybody's talking about use cases in AI. Mm-hmm. Abu Dhabi doesn't talk about use cases in AI. Abu Dhabi talks about an AI economy.
What do you mean by AI economy?
We invest across the entire value chain, from data centers to AI applications to energy solutions to semiconductors. We have Mohammed bin Zayed University for AI, graduating AI talent. This is what I mean by an ecosystem. It's about building that entire ecosystem and then competing on a global scale.
A year ago, you told me that Abu Dhabi is a gateway for Chinese companies to go to the Middle East or even MENA region. Today, or has it become something more than a gateway?
More than a gateway, Ivan. We are a growth partner. And that's a completely different perspective. The narrative today is I am a growth partner. I am a partner for you to grow. I am a partner for you to scale. I am a partner that you can depend on when you want to make your investment returns reach something that is unprecedented, because I am committed and I do not want you to fail.
Also, something on AI. AI is the only show in town. I think you said everybody here on this forum are talking about AI. Many countries want to be competitive when it comes to AI. So what makes Abu Dhabi different?
We have to respect that every market is different. Every market has its own history, its own developmental model. But really one principle is universal to everyone. When everyone comes together, the whole ecosystem, all the different stakeholders come together, magic happens.
Yeah.
And when this magic happens, you start seeing that from what happens to talent, what happens to businesses, what returns come to the government from an economic perspective, what happens to lifestyle. This is why when we came up with a new brand for ADIO, we came up with a new brand and a new tagline. And the new tagline was, we are beyond capital. Mm-hmm. It's not only about capital. We are the interconnector, we are the glue, we are the deal maker. We want to create achievements, success, and we can only do that by bringing the ecosystem together. It's a very unique model. You can go to many different parts of the world, but it is a fact that you will see and you will live and you will actually thrive by being in Abu Dhabi. It is an ecosystem model. We never say, come and invest in Abu Dhabi. We say, come and invest with Abu Dhabi.
Talking about it different than seeing it. Seeing is believing at the end of the day.
Abu Dhabi Investment Forum here in Shanghai. This is the second time, but you are the first time here. First of all, tell us what's your takeaway?
China is very important to UAE. If you go to UAE today, you're going to see 400 Chinese living in UAE. 17,000 licenses issued to the Chinese directly. That's a direct. And the number is expected to grow because from our meetings with our, I would say, counterpart, we see the interest of the Chinese entities trying to have a footprint in terms of the manufacturing, in terms of the service providers, in terms of the financial sectors, have a footprint in UAE. Second, the Chinese investors are smart to know that it is not UAE, it's the areas that UAE is connected with. So they expand, they thrive from UAE. You cannot imagine how much in the corridors that opportunities popped up.
What are the common challenges you see during the ADGM registration process for the Chinese companies?
It's knowing the details of the processes, because a lot of opportunities we have seen, but you know, the distance is still 8 hours flying. So to the Chinese who are already on the ground there, they have no challenges.
Yeah.
They know the system and they see the opportunities. For the Chinese who are sitting in China and doing their due diligence, I think that needs to be, sitting in China would not help much. They have to take a flight and live for a few days to see it. It is different looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
Talking about it different than seeing it. Seeing is believing at the end of the day.
AI is advancing very, very rapidly. And for example, the LLM and the Mythos LLM from Anthropic. In the United States, people say, the financial people say that it is very, very dangerous. So it's limited access to a number of very large financial institutions, which means that AI is maybe dangerous in the time as it's advancing. How will ADGM do its regulation accordingly?
You reminded me of years when the TV was very dangerous. Do you remember that conversation? And a lot of talk about the TV. Then the PC came in. And then suddenly people were scared. Oh, the PC gonna put all of us in danger. Then the phone came in. And the phone was very dangerous, if you remember that time. AI gonna go through the same cycle. People would think it's dangerous. It depends how would you use it. AI, everything has positive and negative. But if you look at the positivity of the AI, it's huge. And if you look at, if you concentrate on the value of AI and how much it would add into the community, society, economy, science, education is huge. And you should always, when it comes to the risk, you should mitigate it. And this is how we need to deal with it. Two, most of these ideas are new. Not even to us, to everybody. But here, the beauty about ADGM, if you come up with an idea that we are not aware of, that's why we tell you don't come and do investment in. We say with. So when you come in ADGM, in ideas that you talk about now, come with us and let's work to develop rules, regulations, infrastructure, monitor, enforcements.
Yeah.
So we start working with you. And that's why when you succeed, we succeed. And we need to make sure that we succeed. That's the mentality that we have.
That's very interesting. if we met again 5 years from now, what would a successful ADGM story might look like?
The growth of ADGM is huge. The assets under management, we are not talking about small digits, we are talking about big 2 digits. We're talking about this year 57%. And the demand is huge. The occupancy of the places is huge. And the sky is the limit that we have. So we'll continue listening to our potential investors. We will continue developing our infrastructure. We will continue developing ourselves, our knowledge, our experiences. And we will work with our stakeholders, being an investor, being a talented person, being a government entity. We will continue working with them side by side. So, as you said, a few years from now, we will have much bigger numbers for us to be proud of.
If we met 5 years from now, sit down again, what would a successful Abu Dhabi story might look like?
I think you will start seeing air taxis. You will start seeing autonomous cars on the road. You will start seeing us export more food than what we are exporting today.
Yeah.
Because we want to become a net exporter of food. Mm-hmm. You will start seeing medical breakthroughs being launched and announced in Abu Dhabi. And by considering that we are the capital of capital, you will start seeing that we are going to become a capital for digital assets. Mm-hmm. 5 years from now, Abu Dhabi is going to be very different. All the investments, all the big bets that we're making on frontier technologies will be realized.
Final thing, Bader, if you have one message to the Chinese viewers, what would it be?
A vision is not something that you see today, because if you see it, it's reality.
Yeah.
We have consistently translated reality into what our vision has been and consistently delivered against it. And when I'm speaking to investors, I try to explain to them, don't bet on the last 50 years of what Abu Dhabi has delivered. Mm-hmm. Bet on what the next 50 years we are going to deliver jointly with you. Mm-hmm. That is the story that we would like to work on with our Chinese investors. And that is the vision that we would like to deliver to jointly with them to actually deliver something that is going to be for the greater good of the world, but also supporting their vision, our vision together.
So do not invest in Abu Dhabi, invest with Abu Dhabi.
Always.
Thank you, Bader.
Thank you
very much.